neighborhood champion boxing in sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Floyd Mayweather and Tank Davis. Those two names have become synonymous over the last few years, especially with Floyd Mayweather promoting Tank Davis. And Tank Davis is supposed to be Floyd Mayweather's successor. He's supposed to be the kind of talent that's going to be able to take the sport of boxing to a level beyond what Floyd was able to take it. But I'm not so sure that that's what's going to happen, because I don't think a lot of people realize the impact of what 2022 is going to potentially have on Tank Davis. And I think the adverse impact on Tank Davis, conversely, it could be positive. It could be a good year for him to really learn from his mistakes if he can get through, in my opinion, the two biggest obstacles that have faced him since he's become a professional boxer. Now, Davis has one more fight with Mayweather Promotions, and he's going to fulfill that contract when he faces Rolando Romero. They fight, I think, May 28th. But win or lose, Floyd Mayweather has to decide what he's going to do with Davis, whether he wants to renew their deal. And the thing is, I'm not so sure Floyd is going to want to renew that deal. And this is where a lot of people are coming in and saying that Floyd is going to try to jerk Tank Davis. And the fight's going to be rigged to where Rolly wins by decision if Tank doesn't knock him out. And, I don't believe Floyd would do that, but you just never know. But it gives people a little bit to talk about, some material there. So it's fair for people to come with the conspiracy theories and say, well, what about this and what about that? And the person will say, well, why in the world would Floyd even think about, or why would a person even think that Floyd would do that to Tank Davis? Well, because remember, Tank had gotten himself into some trouble over a hit and run. And he rejected a plea deal. So now this case is lingering over his head, and I don't think he'll get an answer on that till around September timeframe. So he's going to have to go to trial to prove his innocence. But my understanding is that's going to be very problematic because there's just so much proof that he was the one driving the car and he was the one that caused the accident, I think, due to being intoxicated. So when you talk about prosecution in this case, these people are licking their chops. They're extremely optimistic of a conviction. Now, you never know what happens when guys like this, with this kind of money, and things just start happening. Things just disappear. And, I don't talk like this, but, the slang word is people getting the bag and someone missed the bag or messed up the bag. Well, Tank has a large bag of money. So I could see where he would let half of that go for his freedom. I don't care what anyone says. Who wants to do not even a year in jail just to hold on to your $10 million and come out and lose a year of your career? But 7-10 years is totally different. So I can see when money comes into play, Tank Davis being able to finagle his way out just by, whatever he has to do. But he's going to have to go to trial to prove his innocence. And it's just going to leave a big question over his future in boxing if that prison sentence was to happen. Davis faces 7 years if found guilty. You figure he's 28. If he's found guilty and he has to do 7 years in jail, what's going to happen to his career? That would be disastrous. But we'll have to see if Floyd is going to want to move forward with Davis. And there's still a lot of drama behind Davis in court cases because he had the issue that, it went viral with, I think, the mother of his child. It's a battery charge. So that's supposed to come up, I believe, what did they say, like around May 18th? I think like 10 days before his actual fight with Rolly Romero. He's got to go through that. So these are things that are lingering in Davis' head. These are things that Floyd has to think about. These are things that Calvin Ford has to think about too. Because at the end of the day, if Floyd chooses not to renew this contract and he just wants to let Davis go on his way, you know, Davis is the one person, man, who's been a father figure to him since he's been a kid, who's always been there for him. I'm sure he got to hold on close to that guy, because I think that's the only person that Davis can really trust in this case. You know, remember, some people may say, well, you know, how can you say that? How can you say that he can't trust Floyd? Floyd's the one who came after him. He bought him a car. He got him set up in the house, became his promoter. He helped him become a pay-per-view star, him, Leonard Ellaby, the whole team. And I get that. And I say, you're not wrong for that statement. You're not wrong for thinking that. But I'm not wrong either. And the reason I say that is because Floyd was in the ring fighting Zab Judah. A brawl broke out. His uncle was in there. And Floyd just went in the corner and didn't get involved with that. And what Floyd said was, I'm not going to let those MFers mess up my money. Okay? So, for those of you out there, man, who think that I'm just out here creating videos, man, and just clickbait and just talking out my backside, no. Those were his words. So you guys need to remember what that man said. Floyd Mayweather is all about his money. If Davis goes to jail, how's Floyd going to make money off of that guy? Remember, it's still a business. And when Floyd made that statement, sometimes people grow apart. Relationships come to an end. Those are signs. Y'all better pay attention. But the one person who needs to really pay attention, and I'm going to underscore this, is Tank Davis. He better pay attention, because when things start to heat up, here from like May through September, it's going to be extremely volatile for Tank Davis. He's got to figure out what's going to happen with court cases, if he gets convicted, if he's going to get renewed. If he gets past the first one, he still has a second one coming up down the pipeline. Who on his team can he trust? What's going to happen? Now, what promoters are going to do, they'll probably sit back and just wait till all this blows over, see how the dust settles, and then they'll make a decision on what they're going to do. And I'm sure everybody will be gunning for Tank Davis. But if I'm him, I'll sit back and be like, you know, if nobody wanted to touch me when my career was so-called up in the air, I wouldn't want anything to do with those guys. I'd be with the one who's still by my side. And that's who I'd roll with, and that's the one you can trust. I would feel like I trust. But it's just really, really unfortunate that 10 days before the pay-per-view event, with him and Rolando Romero, he has to deal with the crap I think is the battery case, man. So it's just really sad to know that he has that going on. And I know he's frustrated because he didn't want to fight Rolly. He wanted to fight someone else. He's frustrated because Floyd's not getting him the big fights. And he's frustrated because he has all this stuff going on in his personal life. He made poor decisions. Bottom line, man. You know, we've all been there. We've all made mistakes. I'm not saying we made the mistakes he's made, but we've all been stupid when we were young. We've all done dumb stuff. You know, I did. But as you get older, man, experience, man, you learn. And you look back at things like, man, you know, I could have handled that differently. And I just hope that Tank can get through these two cases he has ongoing, and we can get a peace of mind and come back. And I think Tank has everything it takes to really be that next huge star and can take the torch from Floyd Mayweather. He can run with it. But it's not going to be easy because, you know, Floyd was champion, I think, for 130 all the way up to 154. I mean, I just don't see Tank doing that. I'm not saying he can't. Anything's possible, you know, a lot of work and focus, but it's just not easy to do that. But we're going to see if Mayweather shows faith in Davis, because this may be the best time for him to do it, because it can demonstrate his commitment to Davis and can really help to fulfill Davis and raise his spirits, because trial date after trial date takes its toll on you, man. And if he could be found of a guilty sentence for that hit and run, you know, Davis won't. Look, man, he won't even be eligible for parole until he's 32 years old. So I don't know. But what I do know is if he's convicted, it will be a spectacular fall from grace, because he is the guy who is pretty much him and Canelo, man, a huge pay-per-view star. There's a few guys out there who can sell pay-per-view, or the Earl Spences, but no one's really doing it like how Tank can. And, again, it depends on the demographic, where they're having the pay-per-view events. I don't think Tank can go to Omaha, Nebraska, or go to Utah, or go to Idaho, and, have and sell out a 20,000 seat stadium. I just don't think so. Because you got to look at the demographic and what's the interest. Now, if you take MMA out there, that's different. But as long as you're taking Tank to the right cities with the right demographic and you're marketing him properly in those areas, Tank's going to always be a star. You get another boxer, man, who goes into a boxing town and you market him right, they can be a star. But Tank has something that people want to see, and that's just he has power. He's exciting, and he's personable, man. But with what's lingering over his head, Tank has a much bigger fight. I don't know what's going to happen. No one knows. Wish him the best of luck. But it's supposed to be Floyd's successor as the next big pay-per-view star in boxing. And we'll see if he can get through this year. I think he will go on and do that. But right now, I mean, nobody knows. He's in a very, very bad position. And, I just hope if he gets through it, he learns from this. Because I hate to see, like you have Adrian Broner. We all know what happened with him. Bad decision after bad decision, got shook up by Maidana. It's never the same. Tank seems to be doing okay, but who knows what happens, what will happen after these two cases, if he if he goes to jail for a year or not. I mean, the man's in his prime. He can't afford to lose a year, much less 5, 7, 10 years. It's over for him. So I'd hate to see that, these guys and this little core group, the Broner, Broner's buddy, man, he fought Marky Garcia. I see him, man, tall. His name with an E. Now, what is it? They call him Bunny. Eastman, Robert Eastman, and then Tank, and then Earl Spence. We always see those guys together, and then two of them have had issues. Broner, we already know about him. Eastman getting shot, and then putting his hand on some woman. I guess he was defending himself. Then now Gervontae Tank Davis. Then now you got Earl. And Earl got in a car accident. He was drinking and driving. Things happen, but Earl seemed to have learned from his mistakes and choices, because that man is so lucky to be here, and that's why I love listening to Earl talk. He didn't come out of that speaking ignorant, still out there choosing to make bad choices. He's kept himself in shape, and he's trying to win. And I just hope that Bunny can turn things around. I hope Adrian, there's not much life left on his boxing career, but I hope he can turn around and get back. And I hope if Tank can get through this, he turns things around and kind of follows in the footsteps of Earl Spence as far as his mindset and his approach and how he's deciding to live his life. Because life is too short. These guys are blessed with a talent. These guys are blessed with the ability to make millions of dollars, something that a lot of people, man, they'll never get there. And I think when you're making poor choices like that, you're throwing it away. But nevertheless, man, that's my 2 cents. If you like the video, please subscribe. Hit the like button, but please subscribe. Also, shout out to all the veterans. Love all, hate none. And as always, I'm in the breeze.